Why did the Broadduses decide to move to Westfield? Now, what do we know about the home?
Welcome again to your new home at 657 Boulevard. Have they found what it is in the walls yet? Will the young blood play in the basement, or are they too afraid to go down there alone? I would be very afraid if I were them. It is far away from the rest of the house. If you were upstairs, you would never hear them scream.
After the second letter, Derek told the cops that if they don't take care of the situation, they would have a different kind of case on their hands. This person attacked my family and where I'm from. If you do that, you get your ass beat, Derek said. Frustrated, the Broadduses began their own investigation. Derek became especially obsessed. He set up webcams in 657 Boulevard and spent nights crouched in the dark, watching to see if anyone was watching the house at close range. Maria thought I was crazy, Derek said. He showed a map displaying when each of the 657's neighbors had moved in. The Langfords were the only ones there since the 1960s, with overlays making possible sight lines for the easel and a circle for approximate range of earshot to estimate who might have heard Maria calling their kids names. Only a few homes fit both criteria. The Broadduses also started to bring in the FBI to help with the investigation. They worked with Patricia, who the character Clarice from The Silence of the Lambs was loosely based off of. Derek also hired a private investigator who staked out the neighborhood and ran background check on the Langfords. Nothing noteworthy was found. They hired another FBI agent who worked to assess the level of threat that the letters imposed. The FBI agent recognized several old-fashioned ticks in the letters that pointed to an older writer. The envelope was addressed to M.M. Broaddus. The salutations included the day's weather, warm and humid, sunny and cool for a summer day, and the sentences had double spaces between them. The letters had a certain literary panache, which suggested a ferocious reader, and a surprising lack of profanity given the level of anger, which the FBI agent thought meant a less macho writer. In his opinion, the watcher wouldn't act on the threats. In the letters, there was an obvious amount of rage towards the wealthy. The watcher was upset by new money moving into town, as he said,
Are you one of those Hoboken transplants who are ruining Westfield?
And by the Broaddus' relatively modest renovations, he also said,
The house is crying from all the pain it is going through. You have changed it and made it so fancy. You are stealing its history. It cries for the past and what used to be in the time when I roamed its halls. The 1960s were a good time for 657 Boulevard. When I ran from room to room, imagining the life with the rich occupants there, the house was full of life and young blood. Then it got old and so did my father, but he kept watching until the day he died. And now I watch and wait for the day when the young blood will be mine again.
A recommendation was made by the FBI analyst to take a look into the previous housekeepers and their descendants. Even with all this, the attention of the Broadduses remained on the Langfords. A plan was set up with the Westfield police. They would send a letter to the Langfords announcing that they decided to tear the house down. They were hoping the watcher would respond to this, but no reply was ever sent. Detective Lugo brought Michael Langford in for the second interview, and that got them nowhere. Not only that, Michael's sister accused the police of harassing their family. The Broadduses hired Lee Levitt as a lawyer. He met with many of the Langfords as well as their attorney to show them the letters and that they had been receiving, and also the detective work they had done in terms of the vantage points in the neighborhood. The meeting overall was tense. The Langfords defended Michael and claimed that he was innocent. Due to all the stress, the Broadduses just started having vivid nightmares. Due to this, they started to get suspicious about everyone. They would keep an eye on anyone that would look at their children funny, spend hours looking up people on their internet. The family was also getting the house painted, and the painter noticed the neighbor behind the Broadduses had kept a pair of lawn chairs strangely close to the Broadduses' property. The painter was quoted on saying, One day I was looking out the window and I saw this older guy sitting in on one of the chairs. He wasn't facing his house, he was facing the Broadduses. The renovations included having the family put in a new alarm system, and all of this was finished within a few months. After all of this was completed, the Broadduses had a very important question on their mind. What are they willing to risk to stay in that house? Once again, be careful, be safe, be aware.